First of all, just thank you so much to everyone for being here today. We're both genuinely sort of quite overwhelmed, really, with how full this marquee is. And in fact, this wasn't part of the speech, but I was just saying to my wife, I was just saying how full the room is, and I said that it's a sign of how well a comedian's career is going. When their own wedding is one of the bigger gigs they've played that calendar year. And Emma reminded me, not for the first time, to stop referring to today as a gig. But thank you all for being here and supporting live comedy. It's appreciated. Bridesmaids, thank you, bridesmaids. One of which is Hayley, who is my best friend and who I know Emma has thought of as a sister long before it was made in law today. And I'm not just saying that because she just said the same thing about 5 minutes ago. And that was such an amazing thing with Johnny, so thank you, Hay. The other two bridesmaids, Ellie and Zoe, were introduced to me as friends of Emma's all those years ago, but who over the past 5.5 years have become two of my dearest friends as well. And I know how much it's meant to Emma to have all three of you by her side over the past few weeks. When me and Emma, I mean, I appreciate the sort of snooker clap there, but that was very, like I just potted a red, but thank you. It was a very polite clap, I appreciate it. When me and Emma had first started dating, Emma said to Ellie that it was all going quite well with this new guy, but she was a bit concerned that he was a bit obsessed with football. And Ellie said, well, what team does he support? And Emma said Coventry City. And Ellie said, well, at least you know he's loyal. So thank you for having my back since day one, Els. To be honest, Emma's concerns about my love of football haven't dissipated. She often says that she thinks that I love the Coventry City manager, Mark Robbins, more than I love her. To be fair, even today during my speech, I've just been staring at a photo of him. That's all that's on there. It's just great to have a good man here with us today. So I don't need that. I should put that down, really. So thank you, bridesmaids, is what I'm saying. Thank you to Steve, Emma's dad, for your generosity financially in terms of today and for your kind words just now. It's always intimidating meeting your new girlfriend's dad for the first time, even more so for me, because Emma told me that upon meeting a previous boyfriend of hers, Steve greeted her in the kitchen whilst polishing his shotgun. Not a euphemism. Let's make that clear. Let's nip that in the bud. I was aware that Steve had graduated from Cambridge University, as well as Emma's mum, who had also graduated from Cambridge University. So you can imagine how excited I was when the question came round to which university I'd graduated from. To which I had to explain that I left education at 16 and then became a professional clown. So, can I marry your daughter? But despite this, despite preferring football to rugby, despite being invited on one of your shooting days and being too much of a wuss to carry the dead pheasant, despite all this, you've been nothing but welcoming to me. And I think that's because you know how much I love and will always care for your daughter. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, Amanda, Emma's mum, for your equal generosity financially in terms of today and being so involved in all of the finer details, including painting all of the sort of blue treasure boxes that you see here. And she was up very late in the night painting these things over the last week or so, and she may have fallen asleep mid-paint one of these whilst holding the pot of blue paint and waking up with some newly blue-painted pyjamas. True story. No, thank you, Amanda. It's a common trope of a comedian to do mother-in-law jokes, the basic premise that you don't get on with your mother-in-law, and I can't do that because I've got the best one that I could have had. I'm so grateful for the relationship and the bond that we have, thank you for all you do, which sort of includes giving me a stocking every Christmas because she doesn't want me to be left out when the kids get one from Santa. I'm 32. Thank you for teaching me how to make the perfect peacock noise. And I'm going to leave that there with no context. You can ask her later. And for never patronising me on the golf course by always making sure you comprehensively beat me every time. They say that with a mother and a daughter that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and it's a pretty wonderful tree, so thank you, Amanda. Thank you to my dad for everything you've done for the wedding, including making a lot of the things you see here around the venue, including sort of the wooden signs and the garden games, and more broadly away from the wedding, thank you for being our 24-hour emergency call-out plumber, electrician, mechanic, and I hope you know that we would do the same for you if we had any practical skills between us. You've always been the sort of coolest dad. The lads still take the mick out of me for the amount of times I told people that my dad's a racing driver. But that was just because I was so proud to be your son. A lot of people that see us together for the first time that either know me or don't know Dad or vice versa always say how similar we are. And that's one of the biggest compliments you could give me, because you're the man. So thank you, Dad. And to my mum, thank you, Mum, for everything you've done and sacrificed to get me to be standing here at this point today. And all of the nice things that I said about Amanda being my mother-in-law, I know Emma feels the same way about you becoming hers. More personally, thank you for being my sort of sounding board of life. You've always been my role model and inspiration for the way that I live my life every day, and most notably to never take it too seriously. I can't list all of the things that you've done and do for me, but just know that I know, and thank you for being the best mum. Thank you. Whilst I'm mentioning my parents, it would be remiss of me not to mention the role that Sarah and Gary have played in my life over the past 25 plus years. It can't have been easy taking on a spoilt little 5-year-old that has too many tantrums, and her brother. I'm talking about me, but thank you so much for shaping me into the 32-year-old man that has slightly less tantrums. But Sarah, now seems like the right opportunity to apologise for all the flowers that my football has killed in your gardens over the years. And Gary, can we just have a quick shout out to my stepdad, Gary? He literally had brain surgery just over a week ago, and he somehow made it here against all medical expectations. So thank you, Gary. I appreciate everything that you two do for me, so thank you. We don't have any grandparents here today. Unfortunately, none of our grandparents are still with us, but they played such a huge role in who we are today, and we will remember them. There's a sort of photo the row, I suppose, over there. Yeah, I'd just like to sort of raise a toast to absent friends, basically, if you can join me in raising a toast to absent friends. Right, and I think that's pretty much everyone. So good night. Thank you very much. The 5th of January 2019 is a date that I will remember forever. Cov went away to Wycombe Wanderers. Did them 4-1 on their own patch. It was a great day. A few days later, me and Emma matched on Bumble. And now, for those of you that don't know, Bumble is an app where the woman makes the first message. So my phone popped up, Emma, 22, and it wasn't clear from the photo which one Emma was, because there were sort of 4 of them on this photo. So I sort of had to message saying, oh, sorry to ask, but which one are you? Which is always a bit awkward, because if it's then not the one that you fancy, sort of what do you do from there? And the photo that she used, I've actually got the photo with me. It was from when she was volunteering in Nigeria. That was the photo that she used. And she messaged back and said, the one at the back, and I said, oh, sorry for wasting your time. I'm just going to check the offside flag on that joke. I think we're okay. I think that's gone to VAR, that joke. I think we're all right. So So we spoke on the app, and Emma made me laugh, and then we met in person, and she looked beautiful and made me laugh in person, and she's made me laugh every day since. But you're not just funny and beautiful. She's just got the most amazing soul. Emma, I love every aspect of your character. I love your kindness, not just to me, but to everyone, to strangers. I love how competitive you are at board games and how you're slowly becoming a slightly more gracious loser. I love how silly you are, how silly we are together. I genuinely don't think there's been many days over the last 5.5 years where we haven't just got the giggles like little school children. I love how headstrong you are, which is a wedding speech appropriate way of saying bloody stubborn at times, actually. But I mean that positively. It shows you have values and you have a moral compass that doesn't waver for anyone. I love how fair you are in every aspect, apart from sharing food. We're still working on your sharing, aren't we, babe? If you've ever tried to share a meal 50-50 with Emma and you've ended up with 40% or more, you've done well there. That means she likes you. So, I love your family, and I love that you love mine, and I love that from today they're the same thing anyway. I love your unconditional belief in me. When I said that I wanted to try and go full-time in stand-up, Emma was one of the biggest advocates for me to do it. She didn't care about the impact that would have on her with the unsociable hours and the unpredictable income. She just wanted me to chase my dreams, and she put me first. And we did it. I was made full-time in stand-up, and there will be some audiences and some working men's clubs in Wigan that will be thinking, what the fuck is she thinking? But we did it, and you're such a major part of how I was able to do that. I love your ability to walk into any room and talk to someone as though you've known them 20 years when they're a stranger. And I just want to share a quick story on this. Not long after we'd started dating, I was invited on a family party, and some of the people in the room might remember this. We'd gone sort of from separate places. We were in separate cars, and Emma got there before me. Now, bearing in mind she didn't really know anyone inside, I think most people in this situation would have waited in their cars until I got there and then gone in together. But by the time I got there, Emma was already inside, introducing herself to people and just making such an effort with everyone. And I got in and I said, Emma, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to put yourself in that position. And she said that she could see through the window that they were serving little cocktail sausages. The first part of that is true. Now, I've said some of the things that I love about Emma. So in the interest of balance, I just want to mention a couple of things that you will often find me moaning about. I would say maybe weekly I have to endure something that Emma refers to as a fashion show. Now, Emma is the only model at this fashion show, and it's basically just her trying on the 10 outfits that she's ordered that week. I tell her that she looks beautiful in all of them, and then she proceeds to send them all back anyway. This is sort of I genuinely think Emma's fashion shows are one of the biggest net contributors to climate change at this point. One of the other thing that I sort of am often found moaning about, and I'm still not 100% sure how she's managed to do this, but she's managed to weave into our bedtime routine that every night I have to bring up a glass full of iced water. It then gets quality controlled and has been known to be sent back down if there's not enough ice. Just to touch on Steve's sort of diva comment earlier, again, they're talking about the ice caps melting, that there's not enough ice. I think it's all in our house. I think climate change is a myth. Now, me and Emma often joke that on our first date, we both said that we weren't looking for anything serious because Emma was due to move to London in 4 weeks. And looking around the room today, Em, I think it's fair to say that this little fling before you move to London is getting a little bit out of hand. But you moved to London and we made it work, and we made it work because I think we both knew that we had something special. I genuinely even think from those days I dreamt of having a day like today. So today has genuinely been a dream come true. I hope that I look forward to growing old with you. I hope that we still make each other laugh every day. I hope one day we're in our 80s and I'm still moaning about bringing you some ice water. I'm the happiest man alive today, people, and it's because of this lady. So please join me in raising a glass to my wonderful wife, Mrs. Emma Hawkins. To Emma. And we'll see you on the dance floor.